All right, folks, welcome to the. Everything we do today is going to be recorded, so please come up and use the microphone if you've got something to say. All right, welcome to the 40th CALLERLAB convention here in Cary, North Carolina. Today is March 26, 2013. We're going to talk about Farsight today. My name is Doug Davis. I'm from Spokane, Washington. And to my right over here is Skip Cleland, and Skip is from Decatur, Alabama. And I'm going to let Skip start, and so why don't we just go right ahead. Okay. If you've got a cell phone, please shut it off. We had one go off earlier.
Okay, when CALLERLAB contacted me, home office contacted me, said, would you mind doing a panel on Farsight? First off, I had to figure out what they're talking about. And then once I read through it a few times, basically, okay, every one of us has done it. We're rocking along. One day we realized that the dancers are anticipating what we're going to do next. They got it under control and they know how to do it. So what I thought about was said, okay, this is also for the group that either doesn't have time to go out and work up a new style, new technique or whatever, or just doesn't want to take the time, whichever doesn't matter. So that's the premises that I worked from. So working with that, I said, okay, everybody has their get-outs. I'm assuming, first off, everybody in the room that is a caller is a sight caller of some form or another. Anybody not in that category? Doesn't really matter. Okay. This work with modules too, or whatever technique you use, it doesn't matter. Everybody in the room that calls a dance has their favorite, I can get to this point and I can get out, okay, and get back to my corner and get everybody home. So if you just start with that, okay, the next thing you do from there is, and what I want to do is go ahead and get a square up here if I could please, because this will give you all the visuals that go with it. And I'm going to go through my part here pretty quick so that Doug can get started, because what he's going to tackle here is going to take a little time. Mine is, I'm just going to give you a concept here that you're going to work with and expand on it. No, I don't need it. I need a man up here. Or a lady, I don't care. I make an assumption when we get to this kind of a convention, anybody's dancing any part, it doesn't matter. Okay, so I handed out this little sheet here. It gave that little preamble up at the top about what we're doing, why we're doing it. And what I want to do is first off, I'd like to have my head slide through, please. And from here, we all know that we can do a square through 3 and an Allemande left. Okay? Everybody's comfortable with that, right? You've been there, done that 1,000 times. Okay, so what I want to do is I want you to start from here and say, what can I do that the dancers aren't going to anticipate? And whenever I say Allemande left or some other thing like a right and left grand, or you're at home, they will be surprised. Okay? Now you've done a whole new dance. You've caught them off guard. You surprised them. You got a whole new dance. Their brains just started working again. Okay? So right now, real quick, here's a simple, quick, easy one. And I'm going to recommend here, and I've got it in that handout at the end of it, a little program called SD. Everybody heard of it? Everybody downloaded it? Used it? Okay. It's got a resolve button. Oh, it's so cool. Okay. You find that resolve button and say, resolve this for me, and you don't like the resolution it gives you, say, do it again. And it'll give you a different one. Okay. So from right here, you can start hitting these resolve buttons. But if you can look at this and say, wait a minute, centers, partner trade, roll, back out. I didn't do a square through 3, didn't do an Allemande left. You're at home, everybody goes clap, clap, clap. We're great, okay? Once again, head slide through. Okay, we're going to go with what we know, because we got here, we got real comfortable, we got here, and before we thought about it, we said square through 3. Left, touch quarter, and roll. Pass through, freeze. We can do a right and left grand. Everybody face in, please. So, how many moves did I have to add to my choreography to come up with that and surprise my dancers? I did a left touch a quarter and a roll, so let's count that as 1. And then I did a pass through. I could say right and left grand. Boom. I added 2 moves. or a move, 2 moves and a modifier. Once again, if I could get my heads to slide through, we'll get back to that same spot. We know we can get here. We've done it a million times. Okay, once again, heads do a partner trade, slide through, left touch quarter, roll, square through 2. What would be my next call? Right and left grand. Okay, so once again, how many moves, how many calls did I add to what I already know can do in my sleep? I did a slide through, left touch a quarter and roll, square through 2. Okay, the dancers did not see it coming. That is your goal. Don't let them see it coming, because if you just say square through 3 and an Alaman left, they've already got that left hand pointing it at their corner and smiling because they know where they're going. Okay, you've seen them do it. All right, so that's what we're going for. Now let's go just a little bit further out with it. Okay, and again, all of these that I just did are on this paper. Okay, and there's several more there. All right, now, and again, SD, I'm telling you, that little button on it is wonderful. I'm going to take here and go to, if I could get the SD, it's right, Bill Ackerman, and it's, download it free off the internet. Just do a search SD and then put a space, square dance, and it should get you there. Okay, so but I've got the URLs at the end of the paper. It's on there. Okay, so I want to give you all the references that I use to put this together. They're all right here on this piece of paper. Okay, so right now let's make this a little bit more interesting. Let's have our heads lead to the left. Okay, everybody recognize what we've got now, right? You've been here. You get here easy enough, or you can just recognize it. If you can recognize where you're at, it's great. My heads are together and they're in the centers. Okay, a couple one space and a couple number 4. I'm just going to reference half the square. Okay, so right here, and I don't have this one in my head and memorized for right now, so I'm just going to read it right off the page. Heads do a right and left through with the outsides, please. Okay, so well, shoot, who else are you going to do it with? Okay, from there, veer to the left. Okay, wheel and deal, centers roll. Okay, and let me give you a clue. Ladies aren't looking at anybody in the center, and boys looking at their backs. Okay, now this works with an assumption that that move will be executed well on your floor. Okay, the other thing you do is you put this in your tip. Do that a few times. Make sure you set it up where you can say, okay, centers, the boys are looking at the ladies' backs. Okay, set it up, work it, make sure they can execute it before you actually go to use this. Now, from here, centers, and I'm going to go ahead and say centers, centers box circulate once. Boy run around a girl. How many moves did I add from a known position to do that? 3, 4? Where are they? Well, good. Do a right and left through then. Good. Thank you. You happy now? Yeah, I didn't read the next thing down there. Anyway, okay. So we've got that. Now heads lead to the right, please. Veer to the left. Everybody recognize where we're at? You can recognize this when you're on the floor. Okay, heads do a half a circulate, bend the line. Everybody, I'm sorry, everybody, thank you. Yeah, I'm into heads right now. That would have been everybody half a circulate, bend the line, and we are good. Quarter out, right? Join hand, circle left. The other way. Keep going. Keep. Okay, fine. I didn't read. I should have read my own paper. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, everybody go home for me, please, or pick that as your home spot. Thank you. From here, heads lead to the right. I'm going to read my paper. Thank you. Right and left through. Veer left, half circulate, bend the line. Okay, good. Whew, boy. Okay, I love doing the last panel. Okay, so yes, I need to go back and read. Now, what I just did also was demonstrated, don't try to eat the elephant all at once. Okay? A bite at a time. I'm not saying go into a dance with this list and expect to do that whole list. What I'm saying is you take a little bit of time before you dance. You take one or two of these. You get them in your head so that you can go to them instantly from something you know already and use them. It's new to your dancers. They're going to be surprised. Wow, new stuff. Okay? And you haven't done a whole lot of work, which is what the premise was for this panel, is I don't want to have to do a whole lot of work, but I want to go somewhere new. Okay? And please feel free if you want to throw rocks at me when you take this home if any of these don't work, like the one where they were half out. That's fine, but go ahead and fix it yourself. Okay? Use SD. I'm telling you, it's got a nice little feature. The only problem is make sure you check what it says, because one of those just bit me, and I don't know why it bit me, but it did. And I actually went through these in my head a couple of times and used them a couple of times, and so I've transposed something in the haste to get this done. But anyway, if there aren't any questions about the concept of what I'm talking about, not the choreography that I just used, because I'm expecting you to go get your own. Okay? I wasn't here to teach you any get-outs or anything like that. All I'm saying is the concept that I wanted to get across is take what you already know, because you don't have to work with that, and look at it and say, what can I add in just a few, 2-3 moves that I can memorize very easily and come up with something that is new and different for these dancers. No questions on that? Thank you. Great. Thank you, Square. Appreciate it. You want to keep them up here? Okay.
Thanks. Give Skip a nice round of applause there, would you please? All right. All right. I like to stand up and wander around when I speak. It's because I'm a very nervous type person, I guess. What we're going to look at right now is a little different than anything I think you've probably seen before. If we look at any site calling method, it doesn't matter which one it is, you always have to remember 2 adjacent couples. And how you decide to remember those couples is entirely up to you. But you always have to. Okay? And you always have to remember the corner relationship in those 2 couples. Okay? In those 2 adjacent couples. You got to remember the corner relationship. One is, in most calling methods, one is the primary couple, and that man's corner, or if you're a lady caller, that lady's corner, right, is the corner relationship that you have to remember. So you have to remember that. In most calling, and when we talk about site calling, we're really talking about site resolution. Really? Do we agree on that? Site calling in itself, extemporaneous site, I love that word. Extemporaneous site simply means moving the dancers at will. Okay? Whatever you're calling, you call away until you decide to resolve. Always call with a plan, because if you don't plan what you're going to call, you can get yourself into a lot of trouble. So always plan what you're going to call. All right, but you always, in every site calling method I saw, up until I saw the one I'm going to show you, you always had to engineer your resolution. You had to get dancers into 2-face lines. You had to get dancers into facing lines. You had to get dancers into ocean waves to be able to engineer your get out. And then you had some rules you had to follow. You had to get the facing lines. You had to get the primary couple on the left end of the line and figure out from there how to go, what to do. You had to make some decisions. And that could take up to 20 moves or even more. If you got really lucky, it might only take 2 moves to resolve. You never know. Okay? The point is that you always had to remember those 2 couples and where they were in that corner relationship. The corner relationship is true in what I'm going to show you. You always have to remember that. Okay. We're going to talk about what is called the state of the square. Now, I did not come up with this, but a friend of mine, a very, very good friend of mine, a very good caller coach, was sitting watching a basketball game. This is true. Was sitting and watching a basketball game, and this method of site resolution came to him while he was watching a basketball game. And he sat down and went down to his office and real quick wrote it all down in case he forgot it. Okay? And we call it the state of the square. And if you look at my handout on page 2, it kind of tells you what the state of the square is. There are 3 states. And what he realized is that every site calling resolution method boiled down to one thing. Where are the dancers? Right? They all do. Where are the dancers at the time you want to resolve? So why don't we take the information we have right then and there and use that to resolve? Okay? He said, if I look at half of the square, I can resolve the square just looking at one half of it. I don't have to worry about all 8 dancers. I can look at that half and really pretty much know where everybody is. Do we agree? Anybody not agree? It's true. You can. If and the state of the square says that I still have 2 primary. Actually, we call them 2 primary couples. We don't have a secondary couple anymore. We have 2 primary couples, and we remember that corner relationship. Okay, and if I look at a state 0 means that if when I look at one half of a square, I have two of my primary people in that half of the square, but they are not partners. Okay? Does that make sense? Could have both boys in one half of the square, and they are not partners. I could have both. Well, if both boys are in here and they're not partner, where are the girls? They're over there. Okay? And I don't care, but that's where they are, unless they left the room. That's where they are. They're over there. Okay? If I look over here and I see 2 people, and it's a boy and a girl, but they're not partners, that's still a state 0, because where's that boy's partner? He's over there. Where's that girl's partner? He's over there. The he's and she's get mixed up, okay? Do you understand what I'm saying? So a state 0, 2 people are in one half of the square, but they are not, I'm going to call them matched. They're not matched, okay? All right, and we're going to see that in a second, but we're going to put the bibs on. I call these bibs because I'm a hillbilly, so they're bibs. If I was from the city and had a little more sophistication, I'd be a Mountain William, and they'd be pennies. Okay, all right, so if I look at this half of the square and I see 2 people in this half of the square and they are matched, it's a boy and a girl and they are partners, that's a state 2. Because the other 2 are over there and they're matched. I got 2 couples matched, that's a state 2. If I look over here and I see 1 of my primary people, where are the other 3? They're over there. I got a state 1. Okay? If I look over here and I see 3 of my primary people, well, where's the other one? Everybody together over there. So I got a state 1 because I have 1 matched couple. 1 matched couple. I got a state 1. Okay? You cannot resolve the square from a state 0. How many places can you resolve a square from? Anybody know? 2. You can resolve a square from a 0 box or a 0 line. That's it. You can't resolve a square from anywhere else. That's part of what Darrell realized when he was looking at this. Says it doesn't matter what the formation is or where you're standing and everything. Everything boils down to, am I in a 0 box or am I in a 0 line type formation? All right? All right, so if I've got a state 0, I need to get to a 1 or a 2. Because I can only resolve from a 1 or a 2. How would I do that? Well, I circulate either the boys or the girls. Not both. Not both. Either the boys or the girls. And when I do that, I will have a state. I'll have a state 1. I might end up with a state 2, but I'll have a state 1. At any one time, the square will be in a state 0 25% of the time, a state 2 25% of the time, a state 1 50% of the time. trust me, it's true. I've checked it out. It is true. Okay? So if I'm in a state 0, I need to get to a state 1 or a 2. If I'm in a 0 and I circulate the boy, a boy and a girl, I might end up in a state 2. I might still be in a state 0. Okay? I don't know. Well, I know, but because you're new to it, you wouldn't know until you actually did it, and then you'd go, okay, which one am I in now? Okay? So you just circulate one sex. Can I say sex? We're all adults. I can say that. Just the one sex, boys or girls, to get to a state 1 or to get to that state 1 or 2. Okay? All right? Does everybody understand that so far? Anybody not understand what I'm saying? How many of you have seen this before, the states? Well, you, of course. All right. All right, so let's get that square back up here, and we'll look at what I'm talking about real quick. Let's see, red, white, and blue. Whoever's at this, no, I want these guys over here. Whoever's right here gets to be red. Put them with the numbers. Put them on with the numbers out. Numbers in. I do not want to see the numbers. The numbers do not matter. Why do the numbers not matter? Because we don't care with this resolution method. We do not care. Okay? With all others, you pretty much do. This one, you don't care. Okay. All right. So if I look at the square right now, what's the state? It's a 2. Because we're all standing at home. Okay? All right. All right. Let's have the heads star through. Pass through. Remember I said the square is in a state 1 50% of the time. So if you're going to guess, what should you guess? State 1, of course. What are we in right now? If I look at this half of the square, don't anybody look over there. What's the state of the square right now? How many of my primary people are standing right in this foursome? 1. So what's the state? Don't look over there. This is state 1. Has to be, because the other 3 are over there. I don't even have to turn around and look at them. In fact, I know where they are because I know where she is. Okay? Yes. Yeah. This is a state 1 because only one person is standing in this foursome. Now, if I want to, if I have to, I look over here. I see 3 of them. I got a state 1. Okay, let's have the ladies just trade places. Trade places, girls. Go ahead. That's a brand new call, by the way. Write that one down. Okay. You look over here. What's the state? It's still a 1. It doesn't matter where she's standing or where any of these folks are standing. If I look over here, there's 3 of them over here. It's a state 1. Do we agree? Anybody disagree with me? I probably wouldn't disagree because I've been through this a lot, okay? All right, so step to a wave. If I have, from a state 1, if I have either the boys or girls circulate, I could end up in a state 2 or a 0. Depends. All right, let's have the boys circulate. Look at this ocean wave. How many of my people are standing in this wave? 2 of them. Don't look over there. How many of them are standing right here? 2. What's the state? Really? Are they matched? Do they belong together? No. It's a 0. They don't belong together. They're not matched. If they were both blue or both red, then they would be matched and the state would be a 2. Okay? Are we starting to get the idea here? So we have a state 0. We must circulate somebody to be able to get to a state 1 or a 2. All the girls circulate. I look over here. How many of them do I see? 1's. What's the state? It's a 1. If you see 1 or 3, the state's a 1. Odd number, 1 or 3, state 1. Odd number, 1 or 3 of them, state 1. All right? All right? Do we all agree on that? Perfect. I like it. All 8 circulate. Look over here. How many are over here? 3. So what's the state? It's a 1. All the boys circle 8. That's how they say it in the South, isn't it? Circle 8. Okay. If I look over here, how many's over here? 0. It says state 0 because there's 2 of them over here, but they ain't matched. Ain't this cool? This is so cool. All 8 circulate. The girls go twice. Girls go another time. If I look over here, don't look over there. We're staying on this side of the square. Okay? How many of them are over here? None. Where are they? They're over there. What's the state? It's a 2. If there ain't none of them over here, they're all 4 over there. That's a 4. So it's a state 2. They do not have to be partners. Understand, they do not have to be partners. They just got to be standing in the same foursome. Okay? All right, so do we understand what... Let's do a swing through. What's the state? It's still a 2. Boys run. What's the state? Still a 2. Chain down the line. What's the state? It's still a 2. Touch a quarter. Circulate. Uh-oh, I moved the girls. The state has to change. So if we look over here again, how many? What's the state? State 1. State 1. So you got to be in a 1 or a 2 to resolve. Can't resolve from a 0. Can't do it. So we're in a state 1. Let's talk about resolving. So how do we resolve using this method? Well, first of all, you get the matched couple on the outside. If we're in a state 1, get the matched couple on the outside of an 8 chain through. How would I do that from here? Well, I'll do it for you this time. Boy run, step to a wave, recycle, and they're on the outside of an 8 chain through. Once they're on the outside of an 8 chain through, all I got to do is look at red man. Huh? Red. What's that? Yeah, I look at red man, and where is his corner? That's right. So who's my primary guy? My primary man, my corner. Who's my corners? Remember I said you had to remember the corner relationship. It's blue man and red lady. Okay? So it's was it blue man? Oh. I meant to set it up the other way. But anyway, that's all right. That's all right. Yeah, so I look at blue man, and is his corner, because his corner is standing one of 2 places right now. She's either right there or she's right there. She has to be. She can't be anywhere else. Cannot be anywhere else. So is she standing right there? Say no. So how do I get her to stand right there? Does anybody know how to do chicken plucker? Half a chicken plucker, right and left through, pass through, trade by. And she's got to be standing, or some equivalent, she's got to be standing right there. She has to. She can't be anywhere else. I don't even have to look, because I know that's where she is. Okay, so the get out, you can use it, 0 get out, whatever, all right? All right, go ahead and square your set. Perfect. Let's have the heads lead left. Ooh, veer right. And the boys trade. So I look over here, and I look over here, and I see how many of my key people. Good. What's the state? It is? Are they matched? 2 reds? Yeah, are they 2 reds? Yeah, so they're matched. Right? They're on the same side, so they're matched. They don't have to be standing together. They got to just be in the same foursome. That's the beauty of this. You take what you got and use it rather than trying to engineer a get out. Question. Yes, sir.
Use it.
Yep.
How do you know? Okay, Wally Smolson from Des Plaines, Illinois. How do you know to come down the line and count and not?
That is a very good question. His question is how do I know how to split the square to look at a half of the square? That's a very good question. Where are you going to dance the dancers? Who are you going to dance with? Is this couple going to dance with this couple? Probably not. They're probably going to dance with this couple over here. You have to be logical about it. You start getting crazy about it, and you can get yourself into all kinds of trouble. All right? When it boils right down to it, it doesn't matter, because if I looked at this half, I'd just circulate the couples, and then I can dance these two together, okay? But I would look at this half. Now, to resolve, this is a state 2. Yes? Raise your hand and say, yes, it is. Yes. All right. You see, I get real excited about this. I just love it. So when you do this, when you get to a state 2, you must dance the dancers to an 8-chain through with the matched couple facing. With the matched couple facing. Yes. Can we get somebody to replace Larry, please? Any guy with stamina and... Oh, thank you. Oh, Trevor Day is a good guy. Okay, now, so we have to get them facing in an 8-chain through. How am I going to do that? One call. Wheel and deal. They are now facing in an 8-chain through. I look at my primary guy. Who is he? Where's my primary guy? Where is he? Oh, he's over here. And I have to decide, is his corner standing in the same foursome? No. She's over there. If she's standing in the same foursome, where would she be standing? Ain't but one place. If she was over here, she'd be right there. That's the only place she could possibly be. Right? Nod your heads up and down. If she's not right there, I know where she is. She's down on the other end. She got to be. What's the resolution? You'd call that pass through. Element left. Okay, get back to where you just was, please. And that 8-chain through, please. Yeah, star through. Pass through. Bend the line. I don't want that. Pass through. Bend the line. Pass through. Bend the line. Okay, I wanted them on this side of the square so everybody can see it. If they're standing in the same foursome, the rule is still the same. Get them facing in an 8-chain through. Star through. They're facing. Where is she this time? Where is she? She's standing with him. You just look at these foursome. If she's not right there, she's over there. But if she is right there, it's a square through 3 or some equivalent to an element left. That's all there is to this. Oh, I'm sorry. I keep wanting to do red and blue. No. So it's always either a pass through or a square through 3 to an element left in a state 2. Always. Always. Either a pass through or a square through 3. Right now it happens to be a pass through. Yes? Well, let's do a right and a left through. Now it's a square through 3. Okay? Is this making sense? This is very, very simple. And I've explained it on the very back of my handout. I've got a state of the square, an explanation. It kind of tells you all of this in a very quick synopsis. Okay? So let's square through 3 and do an element left. Now, for those of you that were in the last session, do you see how much easier this is than the other one? Because there are not a lot of decisions to make. There just aren't a lot of decisions. You take what you got and use it. All right? All right, let's see. Give me a call. Any call. I can't do a spin the top from here. Well, you can, but you got to tell who to do it. What do you want me to do? Who? Heads, touch a quarter. Dottie, give me a call. Walk and dodge. Give me a call. Slide through. No, slide through. That's one call. One call. Okay, so I look at it now. What's the state? I look over either side. I don't care. So it's a 2. I can resolve from here, can't I? What do I got to do? It's always an 8-chain through formation. You always got to get them to an 8-chain through somewhere, somehow. And they got to be facing. The matched couples must be facing. So Okay, ladies chain. And then star through. Now they're facing in an 8 chain through. I look at my primary guy, and he's either got a hold of his corner or he ain't. If he's got a hold of her, it's a pass through. If he ain't, that's a square through 3. If he's standing out, let's do it right and left through. If he's standing on the outside and he's got a hold of his corner, it's a square through 3. If he ain't, it's a pass through because she's over there. I don't have to look at both halves of the square to figure this out either. All I got to do is look at one half of the square to figure it out. Star through. Pass through. Bend the line. Star through. It's still a state 2. So either I'm going to do a pass through element left or a square through 3. You tell me. Square through 3. Element left. Ain't that cool? If it's a state 2, it's always a pass through or a square through 3. If it's state 1, let's look at a state 1 real quick. Let's have the head step in and face your corner. This is a state 1. In a state 1, you always dance the paired matched couple to the outside of an 8 chain through, and it's either an element left or half a chicken plucker or some equivalent thereof. Okay? Do we all know what half a chicken plucker is? Right and left? No, it's not a dive through. It used to be dive through. We changed it to pass through because it's just so much easier. Pass through, trade by. Okay? Let's do it. Right and left through, pass through, trade by. We're still in a state 1, right? Because we didn't chain either the boys or girls, so we still have to be in a state 1. Do we agree? Nod your heads up and down. All right? So it's either an element left or it's a half a chicken plucker. Is he looking at his corner right in the eyes? Where is she? She's over there. She got to be right there, so it's half a chicken plucker to do it to resolve. So from a state 1, it's always element left or half a chicken plucker once you get the matched couple to the outside. Okay? All right? So let's do the square through 3. We're doing half a chicken plucker, trade by, element left. Okay, so once you learn how to use this, and it's very easy to learn how to do this. It's really very easy to learn how to do this. I saw this method in my living room one afternoon or one evening or whenever it was, just on paper. We were just moving, well, actually, we were moving our checkers around. And I went, duh. And I learned it right then and there. Okay? It took me about 10 minutes to learn how to do this. It's that simple. All right? I don't expect you guys to learn it that quick. Right? But it is very easy to learn how to do this. All right? And once you've learned the basic part of it, which is all I get to show you today, then it becomes obvious if, let's have the heads step in and face your corner, please. Star through. Now I look at this. Today I can look at this situation. I know I'm in a state 1. I know where my primary, my corner guy is, and I know where his corner is. So now I can use resolutions from here. I'm in a corner line, right? So I can look at it now, see the state, and know I've got to get out from wherever I end up. All right. So let's have all the ladies. This is going to be fun. All the ladies sashay down to the end with the other girl in your line. Yeah. I'm going to write a call to that. I like that. What's that? That's a new call. Okay, I can look at this situation. I got a state 1. I know where my corner guy is. Okay. He's the corner guy. He's my corner guy. I know where he is. His corner ain't over here. She's got to be over there. So I have get outs from here. And furthermore, I know exactly where she's standing. She's standing right next to him. So I know I'm in a state 1. I know where she's not here. I know she's over there. I got get outs from here. Okay? And once you learn this method, you will find yourself saying, okay, I'm in a state 1, they're here. I got, oh yeah, do this and this and this and this, and I'm out. Or I've got a state 2, I can do this, this, and this, and this, and I'm out. Okay, so if I'm in a state 1, what's the not the calls? I said there were 2 places you could resolve from. What are they? 0 line and 0 box. A state 1 is always a 0 box resolution, right? Do we agree? Nod your heads up and down. A state 2 is always a 0 line resolution of some kind. Okay? Do we understand that? All right. And this stuff is this is the coolest thing I've seen since sliced bread. Okay, and I was alive when they made sliced bread. So, all right, touch a quarter. Yeah, I'm old. Circulate. Boy, run. I got a state 0. I look over here and I see 2 of them. They ain't matched. Got to be a 0. I know now, though, because I've been using this method so much, I can look at this half of the square. I know him and I know her and I know who they are. I got resolutions now from here. And once you get used to using and it'll take you probably 3, 4, 5 months of using this to come to get to where I am with it. It's that simple. All right? All right? All right? Now, I don't expect you to use something like this every night you call. And I would suggest that you don't use it every tip. Use it one tip the first time you do it. Use it one sequence in the first tip. Try it. Test yourself. Okay? Next dance you call, use it 2 tips. Okay? And the next time, use it 3. And pretty soon you'll find yourself using it all the time. All right? It's because I know that a state 1 is always a 0 box, a state 2 is always some kind of 0 line get out. You'll start coming up with get outs from wherever the dancers are, and you don't have to engineer it. Like some of you, how many were in here for the facing line thing? You had to engineer a get out. You had to get them into facing lines. You had to look at the facing lines and decide where the dancers are and do this. And then if they're there, do this. And if they're not there, do that. And once you do that, if they're there, do this. And if they're not there, do that. And get to here. And then if they're not there, you got to do this. Okay, this you don't have to do that. You take what you got and use it. Okay, all right. Any questions, comments? I'd like to go deeper into it with you, but I can't. Okay, I don't have the time. Oh, we got one right here.
Mike Fetting from Anger. Doug, when I was in your class in November, you kept saying recycle is your friend. Is that where it applies in this here?
Yes.
Could you demonstrate it one more time?
Sure. I kept telling. I always tell the new callers in our caller schools that recycle is your friend. Why? Because it does 2 things. It chains the ladies and it moves the boys. Okay, so from here, let's do a step to a wave. Let's have the girls circulate. So and then step back out of your wave, please. Okay, I know that I'm in a state 1, okay, because I look here and I see 3 of them, I'm in a state 1. But I need to get this couple on the outside of an 8 chain through. Well, I can either chain the ladies, which is really awkward from here, or I can find something else that chains the ladies, but is it's smoother for them to dance. Right? Step to an ocean wave. Recycle is your friend. Okay? And then do a rotten left through. I know that's a rotten call, but okay? Yeah. But that gets them to the outside. Okay? Because recycle does 2 things. Change the ladies and moves the boys. Okay? And that's why recycle is your friend. And recycle, no matter when you're calling, recycle is always your friend. Okay?
Now that you've mastered this, and you can recognize you're at that spot again where this is an Alaman left, and of course your square knows they're there also, but you don't want them to let you think, or you don't want to let them think that you're there yet. So take what you've got, and again, take something quick, easy, simple to remember, not a whole bunch of them, one of them, maybe two. Let's have the center split the outside pair, separate, go around one, form a line for me, please. Just the end dancers only, bend the line for me. Not a lot of stuff there, was it? Should be fairly easy to remember that. And now, later on, if you would please, heads pair off.
Once again, once you get used to using this method, you will see things like that. Okay? Because it'll start to be, oh, well, instead of doing this, I can do this to resolve. Okay?
Okay, so now you've used this once during the night. You don't want to do it again. Maybe one more time. Okay? Only if we're getting them there in a really unique way. You saw this coming. Okay? But we're going to take the same thing we just did, and we're going to do it different. Put centers in. Centers run. Just the ends bend. They just danced a whole new dance. They're not going to analyze it. You got a couple of them in there that may know what you did. You just did an equivalent, but you've got a new dance for the dancers, and you didn't work hard for it. Yeah, don't make it difficult. You don't want to work. That was the premise of Farsight. You don't want to have to learn a whole new thing. So don't work. Take what you already know, change it up just enough that the dancers don't see it coming.
Any comments or questions? Please, we got lots of time. I went through that really fast. That's
we both standing here and says, well, we got to cover this quick. So,
Bob Pointer, Defuniak Springs, Florida. You should always be able to resolve a square in no more than 3 calls.
And I agree with that in theory. However, most new callers can't do that.
And if to start out with, make sure you can get the dancers to a place to where you can use your 3 calls.
Now, yeah, with this method of resolution, using 3 calls becomes a lot easier, becomes a lot simpler. Okay, so and I mean that in all seriousness. It really does become simpler. Okay, any other questions, comments? Please, please, please. Oh my gosh! Either we're really good or they don't know what we're talking about. Yes.
Yeah, that was the concept. Is to give you an easy way to move your program to something new.
Right. Oh, okay. Sure. Sure. We can put them into all kinds of stuff. Somebody, go ahead.
Do we need someone to come up and we put it into a spot and let them use the tools you just
Sure.
taught?
Sure. Let's do that.
Someone like to volunteer?
Yeah. Somebody want to volunteer to
Somebody
try
want
this?
to be volunteered?
Somebody want to volunteer, please? Come on.
Please, somebody come up.
Hurry. Don't wait.
Anybody? Doesn't matter.
You want to come up, Larry? Come on
Yeah.
up. This is Larry from Washington, Redmond, Washington. Larry Morris, I think, right? I can't read your last name, Larry. Oh, it is Morris. Okay, good. All right, so I'm going to mix them up, and you're going to resolve it. You ready? I know. But you've been around it. He's been around it so much. You can. Here we go. Heads past the ocean. Extend. Swing through. Boys circulate. Okay. What's the state? Yeah, Larry, what's the state?
It's in. Oh, I'm sorry.
Are these guys matched?
Looking at the blue, that's not a blue over there. Okay.
Are they matched?
No, it's a stage 0.
Yeah, so you got to be in a 1 or a 2. So circulate somebody.
Let's have the end circulate.
You got to have a 1 or a 2. What is it?
It's still. It looks like it's still a 1.
Oh, it's a 1. Yeah. So you get these guys to the outside.
recycle.
Don't do that. Don't do that. That's half side. Have the boys run it.
Okay. Boys run, wheel and deal.
Okay, to the outside. Where's my corners? Where's my corner girl? Where is she? She's in your. She's in the people.
She's here. But
Is
the
her
guys
corner there?
No, the guy's over there.
Then it's half a chicken corner.
So that would be right and left through, pass through, trade by.
Outstanding. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Give Larry a hand. Larry is actually not a caller. Larry's better half is a caller. No, I'm kidding. Susan is the caller and Larry is the hauler. Okay, so how about you? You want to try it? You're not a caller? Okay. Come on up here and try it. Skip, would you take his thing or somebody,
can we
somebody
get
else?
somebody that,
Yeah, Skip really shouldn't be. Can I get someone to take that spot, please? Skip, go ahead and mix them up.
sides past the ocean? Yeah. Extend, single hinge, walk and dodge.
Okay. First thing you want to do is look at these four answers. First thing you want to do is look at these four answers. Tell me what the state is, and then resolve it.
Wheel and deal. Zoom. Square through 3. Alaman left.
Very good. Very good. It's easy when they got the bibs on. We take the bibs off, it gets harder. Okay, who wants to try it again? Who wants to try it? Sure. We need somebody to take his place. Okay, my turn to mix them up. All the hits pass the OCEAN. The girls trade, extend, all 8 circulate, swing through. First of all, let's look at these 4 answers.
You're in state 1.
I would differ that. How many? Don't look over there. Just look at these 4 answers. How many of them are standing here?
2.
Are they matched?
Yes.
Are those part of your people there?
No.
No. So it's got to be a 2 because both of them's over there, right?
Oh,
Don't need to look over there.
You're looking at this part of the square, or
No, I'm looking right here. I'm looking right here. Let me see. There's an even number of them here. There's 2 of them, and they're matched. It's got to be a state 2.
okay.
Has to be. Can't be anything else.
I think the difference was he was looking at this box here instead of the line.
It doesn't matter. It's still a state 2.
Granted, but I think that's what was getting him there.
Yeah. It doesn't matter which way you look at it, but you want to kind of look at it the way you're going to dance the people. And you're going to, I'm sure, I'll bet you dollars to donuts, you're going to dance these 4 people together. And so you look at these. There's 2 of them standing here. They are matched. In other words, they are partners. And so it's a state 2 because the other 2 got to be over there. Don't have to look because I know they're over there. Unless they left the room, they're over there. Okay, so go ahead and resolve it.
Boys run, wheel and deal.
You got to get them an 8 chain through facing because it's a state 2.
Oh.
These 2 facing an 8 chain.
Star through. In an eight chain through. Pass through. Wheel and deal. Oh, can't. Oh, centers, pass through.
Now they're facing an 8 chain through. You look at our primary guy. Is he looking at his corner or is he standing right beside him?
He's
Looking at her.
he's
Oh, it's red. I usually make the blue and red. That's my fault. So I look at is he looking at his corner or is she on the other side of the
she's on the other side of the square.
So it's either a pass through or a square through. Which one? 50-50 chance.
Pass through.
I wouldn't do that. I'd do that.
I thought that was pretty good.
Okay, pass first. Oh! You guys tell me I was wrong.
But go back to the pass through. So here you know that you're all set to go, right? You know it's going to be a pass through. So now you can apply something that Skip was saying, and you can look for
Another get out.
some other get out that's not unusual. That's not the usual one. Some point using it.
Yeah, but let's not do that. You had enough trouble.
I had enough trouble already.
Can you get them back to here after you're done? Because we'll have someone else come up and do something different to finish it.
We look at our corner relationship,
Right.
which is in red,
And he's got to get over to that
and he's looking at her, so it's a pass through.
pass through. Okay. So,
Yeah. Go ahead and get back to where you just were.
Back up, undo.
Okay, Monk Moore, come up here. Yeah, good. You got to be on the mic. Got to be on the mic. Sorry, I can't reach that far. Tell us who you are.
Mike Fetting, Nanger. A while back, he had the red couple on the outside. Does it have to be the primary that you wanted on the outside? Okay, but why couldn't he have resolved it when he had the red couple? Did you? You oh God, I'm so confused.
Yeah. Yeah, state one, put the matched couple on the outside of an 8-chain through. State 2, put them facing in an 8-chain through. Okay, that's all there is to that. Sure.
Okay, so from here, I'm Dottie Welch. From here, if we did a star through,
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
you now have,
Reach right behind you, Dottie.
okay, you now have facing lines with matched pairs. Yes? Okay, now, I know you're not really fond of that other system that apparently you had earlier today, but if you are in this position from facing lines with partner, corner in the middle here, okay, what would you do from those facing lines? Yeah. Okay, you're not heading for a zero box. You're resolving out of this line situation. Okay, so before we did the star through, you still had to get them side by side in the middle here. It's not a zero box situation. It's a line situation because you're all paired up. And that's the key, that this is a 2. 2's a line situation because you're all paired up.
Right. Remember, that's what I said. I said, thank you for bringing that back up again, Dottie. Remember, I said from a state 1, your resolution is a zero box. State 2, it's lines, 0 lines. Okay? Thank you for reminding me of that.
Sharon Murphy, Cincinnati. But what Michael was asking was when he got my partner and I on the outside, okay, paired up. And the centers in front of us were not paired up, right? And that's what he was saying was, why couldn't we have resolved then? So let's set that up for him and show him.
Okay, let's set that up. Yeah, everybody was paired up, and that's the issue. That is the pass through, wheel and deal, centers pass through. Here's where you were. Here's where you were. If I've got a state 2, and I look at this half of the square, and I know I'm in a state 2. How do I know I'm in a state 2? Because I got 2 of my people over here. They are matched, and they're standing right beside each other, and they're on the outside. So I know, because these are not my other couples, these aren't my other people, I know exactly where they're standing. I know exactly where they're standing. They're standing right there. Can't resolve from here, can I? There ain't no way. Oh, let's try it. Dive through. Yeah, this thing. She asked a question. Dive through, pass through. Okay, and the outside's California twirl. No, you already did it. I had to do that for the tape. Still can't resolve it from here because it's a state 2. It's still a state 2. Yeah, she just couldn't see it. Yeah. So let's pass through, trade by. Here's where we were. So we're a state 2. We must get the answers if we know we're in a state 2. And we know that, yes? Everybody, do we agree on that? We got to get the matched pair. I don't care which half you look at. You got to get the matched pair facing in an 8 chain through, because the resolution is from lines. So we got to get them facing in an 8 chain through. Step to a wave, recycle. Recycle is your friend. They are now facing in an 8 chain through. In effect, it's lines. Do we agree with that? Star through. Bingo, bang, you're in lines. Unstar through. The uncalls are coming. You must learn them. Okay. All right. So, yeah.
Okay, now I need another volunteer. Anybody? Somebody? Yeah. I just need a volunteer. You're gonna resolve the square directly to an Alaman left. I'm gonna set you up. Okay, great. Square. If you would please, everybody step to a left-handed wave. Good. Okay. From right here, give me one call that's going to put people in motion for an Alaman left. Extend. Go to an Alaman left. What happened there? What was not absolutely 100% legal, but the dancers accommodated you?
Well,
right, but we said extend to an Alaman left. So when you start doing some of these things, you're going to start moving out of your box a little bit. And again, even though they should have been doing something else, they will listen to you and they will do what you want them to do. Okay? So you can play with those calls a little bit and get to something that's new, and that didn't take a whole lot to get there. All we did was take a pass-through and changed it to a step to a left-handed wave. Everybody extend to an Alaman left. Your out-facing dancers also adjusted for you and turned to find their corner to do their Alaman left.
Wally Smallson, Des Plaines, Illinois. When we extended, didn't the middle people go to a left-hand wave?
Yes.
So the Alaman left.
It's intuitive, yes. That's what I'm saying. You're moving correctly, and you're taking it, and the dancers will adjust for you and will accommodate you so that you can do what you want to do. But you've got to get your timing right, because if you do the full extend, take a breath, and do the next thing, they're going to fight you. Okay, all the way around, because they're going to start looking for what should have been coming to them, and it's already there. So you want to make sure your timing is right on something like that. That's playing around a little bit. You might make somebody mad. A whole lot of other people are going to think that was pretty cool.
All right. So does anybody else want to give this a shot? Nobody? Oh my gosh.
How about lines facing in?
Yeah, Dottie had something. What'd you say, Cal? Oh, okay. We'll be quick here. Go ahead, Dottie.
One of the things that maybe isn't obvious until you think about symmetry is that somebody said, well, they're not matched over there. In fact, they are matched. And you know that because they're matched here. And it has to be symmetrical. So the only time you get this... Well, but they are. They're partners with each other. They, in fact, are matched. And you know that because you're seeing them matched over here. And therefore, the zero box resolution is not the one you want, because it's not a case of matched on the outside and unmatched in the middle.
And I'd like to give you one more, if I could, please, because this is going to give you an alternative to what we did just a moment ago. Everybody on the square, if you would, do a right and left through, pass through, trade by, and we said we're not in a resolvable spot yet because we're in an 8 chain, and we've got a 2 match couples over there, which is a
2.
Okay, but just a little while ago, didn't we work out a new way to see the lines and get them there? From here, veer to the left, and we have what? We have lines, right? Half a circulate. Bend the line.
Yeah, and you'll start using this method. You will start to see this kind of stuff pretty easily because it becomes very obvious that's where you are. Okay, does it all make sense? We got to get out of here, but I want to thank you for your time, and please give Skip Cleland a nice
thank
round
you
of
for
applause.
coming out.
And Cal Golden.